Yes, Zim, are you going to be running those?
Yes, I'm going to share my screen right now.
Okay, so I call this meeting to order at 6:35 p.m. on September 26th. First off, I believe is item 1. Oh wait, is that on the next slide? If I'm not wrong. Yeah, first up is item 1, which is roll call and orders of the day. District 1 Commissioner Chen has an excused absence. Is District 2 Commissioner Liu here?
Yes, I'm here.
District 3 Commissioner Fong.
Present.
District, oh, sorry, is it really hard to, okay. I can speak a bit louder, but is it better to hear me now? Okay. Is District 4 Commissioner Khan here?
She's running a little late.
Okay. Is District 5 Commissioner Liu here?
Present.
District 6 Commissioner Bansal.
Here.
District 7 is me. District 8 is vacant. Is District 9 Commissioner Singh here? Okay, apparently not.
He's also running a little late.
District 10 Commissioner Lee will also be running late. And is District 9 Citywide Commissioner Jonathan here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. And next, moving on to item B, which is land acknowledgement. We would like to take a moment to recognize that while we gather at the city of San Jose, we are gathered on the ethno-historic tribal territory of the Damian Ohlone speaking tribal groups, some of whom were direct ancestors to the lineages in the Muwekma Ohlone tribe. The present-day Muwekma Ohlone tribe is comprised of all the known surviving American Indian lineages aboriginal to the San Francisco Bay region who trace their ancestry through the missions Dolores, Santa Clara, and San Jose. We, the San Jose Youth Commission, recognize the importance of this land to the indigenous Muwekma Ohlone people of this region. We also recognize that the ancestors of the Muwekma Ohlone constructed and maintained the 3 Bay Area missions. We pause for this land acknowledgement as a way of showing respect and countering the narratives and practices that erase indigenous people's history and culture, and toward inviting and honoring the truth. Then moving on to public record. I don't think we've received any correspondence, so we can move on to item 3, which is open forum. At this moment, we now open the floor to any members of the public to speak for 2 minutes. If there is any member of the public who will speak, please remember to abide by city conduct. Is there any member of the public who would now like to speak? Also, yeah, wait, sorry about the very low volume, but I do not believe there is any member of the public.
There's still no,
yet.
looks like there's no audience.
So then we can move on to item 4, which is consent calendar. At this moment, are there any motions on the floor to pass the consent calendar?
And then just a regular paper.
I, Commissioner Liu, move to approve the consent calendar minutes.
Are there any seconds?
Commissioner Huang, second Commissioner Liu's motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? then the motion to approve the consent calendar passes. Moving on to item 5, which is our discussion and action items. First up, we have item A, which is the audit of the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth. Is our presenter here and ready?
Yes, we are here.
Okay, so you can go ahead.
And we have a presentation to share on the screen. Okay,
Are we all good, Brittany?
yeah, they're
Thanks.
sharing our screen, so we'll just let them know when we need to change the slide.
Okay, so hello, everybody. My name is Joe Royce. I'm the city auditor. I'm joined by Brittany, who you just heard a second ago. We are here to present our audit of the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, incorporating the Bill of Rights into planning and enhanced services. I tried to start my video so you can see my face, but I can't. So before we get into the audit, I wanted to spend a little time explaining who we are in case you're not familiar with the Office of the City Auditor. So the City Auditor is one of 5 positions appointed directly by the City Council, along with the City Manager, the City Attorney, the City Clerk, and the Independent Police Auditor. We are independent from the administration, meaning which is run by the City Manager. It allows us to provide objective analysis and recommendations to the different departments that provide services to the public. The San Jose City Charter prescribes the powers and duties of the City Auditor's Office, including conducting City Council-assigned performance audits to determine whether city resources are being used in an economical, effective, and efficient manner, established objectives are being met, and desired results are being achieved. At the core of our work is making recommendations to correct deficiencies, strengthen accountability, and improve the efficiency, effectiveness, and equity of city programs. And over the past 10 years, our office has made over 800 recommendations to the administration, covering many aspects of the city's operations, including public-facing services such as the police department, parks, recreation programs, the library, and many, many others. With that brief intro about who we are, I'm going to pass over to Brittany to talk about this audit. I think you can move forward with the slides.
Thanks, Joe. Originally adopted by the council in 2010 and later revised by the San Jose Youth Commission, you all, in 2021, the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth serves as aspirational guidelines to demonstrate the importance of children and youth to the city of San Jose and to help kids in San Jose receive the resources and support that they need to succeed. The Bill of Rights outlines 10 specific areas for children and youth in the areas of health, safety, education, fair employment, and others. In adopting the Bill of Rights, the City Council expressed the importance of the city using it as guidance when considering and developing programs and activities for the benefit of our youth. The original Bill of Rights was modeled after similar guidelines adopted by the state of California and counties such as San Mateo County and Santa Clara County. The audit that we're presenting on today was requested by Councilmember Arenas with the objective of reviewing the adherence to and implementation of the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth by city departments. We should note that following the acceptance of the revised Bill of Rights, the City Council in the June 2021 budget process allocated funding for the administration to develop a Children and Youth Services Master Plan. The goal of this plan is to develop a citywide strategy to serve children and youth in San Jose. It is intended to provide guidance on policy priorities, investment, and alignment of programs to create an integrated cradle-to-career continuum of services. As this plan is still in development, we did not audit the current efforts to develop the plan, but we focused on the areas of what the city is doing specifically to adhere to and implement the Bill of Rights. Slide, please. In our audit, we had 2 primary findings. The first finding is current city programs address many of the elements of the Bill of Rights. The city has many programs and services, both directly and indirectly, serving children and youth. The city spent at least $36 million on programs directly focused on children and youth in fiscal year 2020-21. This included $15.8 million in programs related to the Mayor's Gang Prevention Task Force and $4.4 million in literacy, education, and family learning programs. Additionally, the city invests in services that indirectly support children, youth, and families, examples of which include housing services, infrastructure improvements, public safety programs, parks, library expenses, among others. The exhibit on this slide shows a map of PRNS programs and library locations outlined by council districts. Many of the programs that the city hosts address articles in the Bill of Rights. However, there is variability to the extent to which the city is currently addressing each element outlined in the Bill of Rights. In some cases, the city relies on partnership or coordinates with other entities such as the county or community-based organizations. In other cases, the city has relied on COVID-19 relief funding, which is time limited and could result in future gaps in service. Slide. Thank you. The second finding is the Bill of Rights framework should be used to inform the Children and Youth Services Master Plan. We observe that the city currently does not have a centralized inventory of all city provided programs for children and youth. Compiling and maintaining an inventory using the Bill of Rights framework can help staff and residents better understand what programs the city currently does offer and where there may be gaps in service. This can also help the city in its current equity initiatives around children and youth services. An inventory can also be a tool for staff in different departments to connect children and youth with services that they may need. The Bill of Rights framework can also help the master plan process to identify desired outcomes and help the city ensure that it is having the impact it intends to. Multiple city programs currently monitor progress towards program level outcomes. The slide here shows different ways that city programs measure success. The city can learn from this and lean on these and use other tools within the city as it develops metrics and means of measuring progress for the Children and Youth Master Plan. Other jurisdictions, such as the City of Oakland and Santa Clara County, monitor population level data to help understand the impact in addition to program level measures. We have included examples of the population level data in the appendices of the report. Next slide, please. Thank you. We had two recommendations in this audit report. The first is to identify a process and resources to develop and maintain an inventory of children and youth programs. This can help document gaps in service and enhance equity and accessibility of services across San Jose. The second is to define and report on metrics to assess overall progress towards outcomes identified in the Bill of Rights. Both of these may require coordination with outside partners, such as local school districts and the Santa Clara County Office of Education. Slide, please. Overall, we would like to thank all the departments that we worked with, and we would also like to share a special thank you to the two former Youth Commission members that we met with during the audit process. And all of our reports are available online. This concludes our report. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your presentation. At the moment, are there any questions from any of the commissioners? Okay, it doesn't look like there are any questions, but I do have a really quick one. Earlier, I believe you mentioned that the Bill of Rights framework is also geared towards certain equity initiatives. Would you mind describing a little bit more about what those initiatives are?
Could you repeat the question, please?
Yes, sir. So I think earlier in like one of the slides, you mentioned that the Bill of Rights framework overall is geared towards certain equity initiatives. Would you mind elaborating a little more on what those equity initiatives are?
I could start, and Joe or Laura, if you would like to fill in after that. So especially the revised Bill of Rights included additional elements related to equity, especially with the right number 10. And one thing that we did during the audit was we interviewed the Office of Racial Equity to understand what they're doing as it relates to making sure that departments are kind of thinking with equity at the forefront. This includes things like including analysis with their budget. Joe, would you like to add as well?
I think if I could add just one thing, and I didn't fully hear the question, but I think the direction from council definitely definitely emphasize expansion or ensuring equitable access across the community to children and youth programming. And a couple things that just want to talk about that are occurring in the city currently. Brittany mentioned the Office of Racial Equity, but the Office of Racial Equity has been working with different departments to begin developing equity plans and strategies to help inform budgetary and programmatic decisions. And we did note in the report the library and the Parks, Recreation, Neighborhood Service departments, each in the most recent budget, received funding to hire equity managers, and among their responsibilities will to assist department leadership with equity-focused strategic planning, developing indicators of racial equity, and other tasks. So it is definitely a focus of the administration and the organization. And I can't necessarily speak about what's going to happen with the Children and Youth Services Master Plan. I don't know if Laura wanted to talk about that a little bit, because it is something that our understanding is going to be built into that plan.
Hello, yes, hi, this is Laura Buzo, assistant to the city manager, and I'm sorry my camera's off, but my internet's a little wonky this evening. Yes to the comments mentioned by the auditor's office around just the articles within the Bill of Rights, and also some of the aspects that the departments across the city are doing around racial equity. And also with the Children Youth Services Master Plan, we have been engaging with community partners from across the city, but also focusing on those that serve vulnerable youth and young adults in the process of developing the Children Youth Services Master Plan. We also are aligning ourselves closely with the work of the Office of Racial Equity to make sure that throughout the process of engaging community, we're using the racial equity lens to engage and uplift the voices of diverse communities.
Thanks, Laura.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. And overall, thank you so much for your time and this really insightful presentation. Just as a note, if anyone else, any of the commissioners has any other questions, we can always do a follow-up with contact info after the meeting. Moving on to the next.
Before we move on, this is Joe Royce again. So I wanted to say the next steps for us is to present this audit to the full City Council on October 4th. So I didn't know if there was anything that you wanted to provide to the council based on this presentation, or I could pass on just so simply that we present it to you. So whatever you all want to do, but I'll let the council know that we presented it to you all.
Yeah, thank you so much. And I think moving on to the next item, which is the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth for Santa Clara. Is our presenter here and ready for this?
Yes, I'm here. I will share my screen. Awesome. Thank you so much. All right. Is everyone able to hear me okay?
Might be
It's
just
a little broken up.
Yeah.
Cleo. I don't know if maybe, as much as we would appreciate seeing you all, I don't know if maybe it might help to turn off your video to adjust the audio.
Yes, I will. Is this better?
It still kind of sounds like you're underwater a little bit, but that might be the best we get.
We're getting the same from you. I'm so sorry about that. Are you able to understand me at least?
I
Is
can understand
anyone
you,
able
Commissioner
to
Sriram.
understand me?
Yeah, I can understand it to a certain extent. Yeah.
Okay. Sorry about the technical issues, but I will continue and hopefully this lasts in
Yeah,
here.
Cleo,
So
do you
we're
want
here
to
to talk to you about the bill.
really quick? I'm sorry, I'm going to stop you. Do you want to try disconnecting really quick? And we can move up item C into your place, and you can go right after. I believe we have the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and maybe can get the audio a little bit adjusted.
Sure. Thank you.
Okay, let's do that. I'm so sorry. So, Commissioner Sriram, so we're going to move up item C, and then we'll have item B go right after. Does that sound okay?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay, so
Is the presenter for the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights here and ready to present?
I am. Hi, everyone. My name is Olivia Nunez, and I am ready to present. Oh, okay. So, good morning, everybody, or sorry, good afternoon. It sounds like it's a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights Day. Again, thank you for having me. I work for Santa Clara County. I work under the Active and Safe team. My director, Michelle Wexler, is joining us today as well. I'm going to be walking through what talking to you about the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, what we are doing here in Santa Clara County, and in hopes that your youth commissioners will adopt the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. Next slide. So you may ask yourself, what is a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights? First of all, it's a list of nature-based activities or experiences that every child would benefit from. A Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights also celebrates the unique history and culture, diversity, and natural resources of the surrounding area. It also reflects the needs, priorities, and assets of our county and of our community. And one of the most important things is it makes nature equitable to all. Next slide. So here is the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights that we developed. It was actually adopted by the Board of Supervisors in March of this year. It has we developed it in 3 different languages, Vietnamese and Spanish. It was developed this beautiful artwork was developed by Local Color, a local artist collaborative. The artist is Jim Fonseca. And again, the idea is this Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights took about 2 years in development. We worked really closely with youth, nonprofits, and other organizations throughout Santa Clara County. And we all came up with these 10 tenets. As you can see from here, there are 10 tenets that encompass the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and they include anything from climbing a mountain, planting a seed, learning to swim, visiting a farm, and we hope that all children in Santa Clara County have the right or in the ability to do all of these wonderful activities here. Next slide. So why should we adopt a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights? One, it really helps with green space inequities. 2, being outdoors, there's lots of studies that show that being outdoors, children tend to be more active and more emotionally stable children who are exposed to the outdoors, I should say. Children who are exposed to also green spaces have greater cognitive functioning. And those children who interact with nature are most likely to address stress in a healthy manner. And lastly, just being outdoors reduces chances of mental illness, and it's just really overall just good for you. So you might want to know, so why is public health involved with the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights? Well, we're involved because being nature promotes physical activity, and we want to make sure that all children in Santa Clara have the ability to be healthy in that aspect. It increases vitamin D. Being out in the sun helps increase your vitamin D levels, and also it reduces the chances of developing chronic diseases in the future. Next slide. So what are we asking of cities? We're asking that we would love all cities within Santa Clara County to adopt our Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. And how you can start doing this is one would you would adopt the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and then you would identify 2 to 3 actions over the next 18 months that can be taken to ensure the access for all children. So to identify 2 to 3 actions over the next 8 months that can be taken to ensure access to all children engage in the Bill of Rights tenets that I showed you at the beginning. Next slide. So what we're asking of cities is for youth commissions to provide input and opportunities available in their cities to engage youth and support and efforts within your own city to promote the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. I changed the slide, so I just wanted to go. I'm not going to really talk a lot about what is in this slide, but a couple of ideas for action items that you may want to take as youth commissioners that will help once you adopt the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights is a couple of items would be like maybe developing your own, making a park use assessment. So assessing all your local parks within the city of San Jose and seeing if there's any barriers for families to be able to enjoy these parks within the city of San Jose. Another idea would be maybe just doing a simple materials assessment, like all your materials within the park systems, are they in different languages? I know I also work really closely with the city of San Jose, and I was able to help translate the Japanese gardens brochure that you had. So that's another idea where you can have high impact and help a lot of people feel a little bit more welcomed in park spaces. Another action item idea would be to identify transportation needs. What are the barriers that people have to be able to, again, to access parks within your city limits? And then another very simple action item that you could take is to share information about the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights at your youth events that you already have. I do want to say that the artwork that I have there, I do have postcards, I have flyers, and I also have stickers that I would love to just distribute throughout the city of San Jose as part of this effort. And that is all that I have to share. Is there any questions for me in terms of anything that you have in terms of the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights? I would really want to stress that I would love to have the City of San Jose's youth commissioners adopt our Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights.
Commissioner Liu, it looks like you have a question.
Yes, I do. And I wanted to add a few things. The city of San Jose is kind of because we hosted events pertaining to outdoor, such as Viva Parks or Viva Calle. Megan could send you more information about what we do in those events. Those are mainly outdoor events, and those are really to connect communities and bring them outside. And I have a question too. Technically, how many cities have adopted this Bill of Rights, and have you worked with the Santa Clara Youth Task Force in adopting this Bill of Rights? Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for your questions. They're all really good questions. So it sounds like you had three or four questions in there. You asked about how many cities have adopted the Bill of Rights. For right now, I'm actually presenting to different cities. You are the third city that I have presented to. The city of Cupertino is very interested in adopting the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights, and I do have other presentations coming up. So you are the third city that I presented on, and I'm hoping that all the cities will adopt this Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. And I'm sorry, what was the other question?
I'm aware that Santa Clara County has a youth commission. Have you worked with them to kind of get ideas for the Youth Bill of Rights?
Michelle Wexler, do you know if we worked with them when we adopted this?
Sure. So we actually did work to engage the Youth Commission. I have to say, when we launched our engagement, our plan was to work closer with them, but the pandemic hit and it became a little bit more challenging, but we certainly had reached out. At the time when we were looking to do this, we had several folks that were part of the Santa Clara County Board of Supervisors who expressed interest in this. And so we certainly engaged youth in the process, but it is, we would love to go back, and I know the youth, sounds like the Youth Commission is on this call, so we certainly would love to engage our own Youth Commission as well as looking for cities. I think what happens is the county adopts the Bill of Rights, but the county doesn't have jurisdiction over what every city is doing. And so to really kind of, as much as we want everyone to do the tenets and the Bill of Rights, this is really looking, at policy and systems level change and equity. Whereas if we can say all 15 cities in our county actually have also adopted the Bill of Rights, it gives us that much more momentum to really kind of get attention to the importance of this. But I appreciate your question, so thank you.
No, thank you. I just wanted to see, because Santa Clara Youth Task Force is our county counterpart, and I just wanted to see what their role was in this Bill of Rights.
Any other questions from the rest of the commissioners?
Actually, I have a really quick question. I think you mentioned that there are like a few ways for us to support the efforts
Yes.
to promote the Bill of Rights in our city. Do you have any suggestions as how we as a youth commission could go about this? Or like any suggestions on how to support the efforts?
Yeah, the ideas that I mentioned are a good way to start. I think just from, I would say, low-hanging fruit, it would be great to, one, adopt it at the city level, and then two, sharing information at youth events. It would be a really easy win for both, where you can share the Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights with different people that you meet at the events. Another would be, again, a materials assessment would be another really good way for the youth to be, your commission to be involved, where you would be able to, assess maybe what parks have, what materials, the city of San Jose Parks has, what are some of the translations that need to be developed, just simple translation of brochures is a really good way to have people, that definitely need language support to feel more comfortable in these outdoor spaces.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. If any other commissioners have any questions, we can follow up after the meeting with contact info. Once again, thank you so much for the wonderful presentation and taking the time to speak to us. On that note, is the audio better for the...
Is it better? Are you able to hear me better?
Yes, it's a lot better.
Okay, good. Thank goodness. It was the same sort of sound for us from you guys, so I'm glad that's sorted out. Yeah. All right. Shall I share my screen?
Yes, of course.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm here to talk to you about the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth for Santa Clara County specifically, and it's been mentioned briefly throughout this presentation, but this is our presentation on it. My name is Cleo Cole, and I am a Youth Liberation Movement Fellow. We'll get into that in a few minutes. So this Bill of Rights this is the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth for Santa Clara County, just to state again. And there have been dozens of Bills of Rights for Children and Youth made over the course of the past 2 decades. And San Jose, as you all know, has adopted a Bill of Rights. Santa Clara has adopted a Bill of Rights. As was mentioned in the last presentation, there's a Children's Outdoor Bill of Rights. There's also a Bill of Rights for foster youth. And because there's so many people interested in protecting the rights of children, especially vulnerable ones, as we've mentioned before, talking about equity, it can be confusing to know what's being done by who and for who. So I'm going to get into that a little bit. The Santa Clara County adopted a Bill of Rights made by Kids in Common 12 years ago, and that was without the input of youth. So this year, they, along with Kids in Common, decided it was time to revise the document. So this updated version is youth-led, as was the San Jose Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, with diverse input from young people across the county to make sure that the final document is representative of all of our stated needs. So just to specify, this Bill of Rights is for every young person under the age of 24 in Santa Clara County, and that includes young people who already have bills of rights, such as foster youth. So I'm going to get into who we are a little bit more. I mentioned that I'm a Youth Liberation Movement Fellow. I'm here with my other fellow, Mia Carrasco, and we're collaborating with the nonprofit Kids in Common. So the Youth Liberation Movement is a new youth group consisting of opportunity youth aged 19 to 25, dedicated to improving the quality of life for young people in San Jose. We go by YLM. So YLM has created 2 fellowship roles with Kids in Common for the purpose of having the Bill of Rights revisions led by young people. So we are those young people. I, Cleo Cole, began this project, and Mia Carrasco has joined recently. And this project is very much supported by all of our dedicated and passionate Youth Liberation Movement fellows and members. The executive director of Kids in Common, Dana Bunnett, and a lot of our other allies in the youth serving ecosystem. So what we've done so far is we've spoken to about 65 young people from different backgrounds about the rights they believe they deserve. And from those initial responses, we sort of started making drafts. And what we're doing now is we're continuing to reach out to young people across the county, such as the youth commissioners here, to receive their input on what rights they believe they should be entitled to, the organization of our draft of the Bill of Rights, what issues are important to them, and how our draft can change to accommodate or reinforce them, as well as the qualities from the services and products they believe should be provided under those rights. So what we're doing next is we're continuing to get youth input and going deeper into the more complicated topics of their visions of ideals, responsibility, and action, as has been mentioned throughout this meeting a lot. Very important. We'll also continue drafting the Bill of Rights using all of the input we get every month from young people at our monthly drafting meetings. We'll talk about that a bit more later. We'll also be around December when we hope to be wrapping up this Bill of Rights, circling back to the young people who participated to get any final edits we need to make on our final draft to make sure that it represents their needs. We'll also be creating an action plan based on what the young people we've talked to have said they wanted to see happen, very important. We'll also be sending the finalized Bill of Draft to decision makers in Santa Clara County for their signatures of approval, and creating recommendations for actions that will be presented to county decision makers at the Children's Agenda Network. And we'll be partnering with Kids in Common a lot more in that phase after December to make sure that we are combining the input of the young people with the knowledge and data of Kids in Common. So this document is going to be written and approved by youth and adopted, hopefully, by the people with the power to make systemic change. This is very powerful, as you all know. And young people and decision makers can use this Bill of Rights as common ground when they're connecting over initiatives to help one another with all of our common goal of upholding these rights. This also allows young people's needs to be at the forefront of decisions made on behalf of them, and gives the opportunity for young activists to advocate for themselves. So these are the ways that young people can be involved directly to provide their direct input. We have youth group conversations with the many youth groups that are in the county. We also send out writing prompts and creative prompts for people to respond to, and we use that input at our drafting meetings. We also offer one-on-one interviews with people who find themselves particularly passionate about this sort of thing, and quick surveys that we can send out to lots of different people to get their input as well. And ways that young people can be involved more consistently include joining the drafting team. So as I mentioned, we'll hopefully be getting input from lots of young people every month, and we'll be reviewing that and consolidating it that and sorting out our draft at our monthly drafting meetings. So if any of you youth commissioners are interested in this, I highly encourage you to sign up for this at the end of this presentation. There's also joining the administration team. So that involves coming to the youth group presentations and working with us to help take notes at meetings, setting up supplies, facilitating conversation, and a lot more than that. These activities are really insightful and impactful. So I would recommend joining this as well. So regarding compensation, the youth participating in these activities will be compensated at the rate of $25 an hour, with the exception of if they're already being paid for their time. This is common in other youth groups. If they're at school while they're participating, or if they're taking a survey, which is a raffle instead of direct payments. And these come in the form of e-gift cards. So to the Youth Commission, what I would like for us to do with one another is to share our connections with other people who can help us move our projects along and make sure that we're being as effective and proactive as possible, sharing engagement opportunities, sharing strategies. We're doing similar things with this sort of effort, and I think that it's definitely important to keep in communication about the challenges we face and the strategies we use to overcome them, as well as sharing our knowledge of these sorts of systems and how this kind of change happens, so we can be more effective agents of change. And I would love to keep a dialogue with all of you Youth Commission members to make sure that we're doing these things consistently so that our efforts can be more effective. So do any of you have any questions?
Commissioner Liu.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your presentation today. This is kind of a clarifying question. Is this a Bill of Rights draft that you're making for Santa Clara County?
This is a revision of the original Bill of Rights for Children and Youth for Santa Clara County that was written and adopted in 2010. So we're doing the process differently, but it'll have the same title as the old one. So we're doing a new process for the same document. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So this new one would replace the old one that the county.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you for your question. Are there any other questions? All right.
I don't think there are any other questions.
Okay, then I would love to stay in touch with all of you commissioners. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, resources you want to share, or if you're interested in being involved in anything we've talked about today, please go ahead and email me at cleocole@gmail.com. And if you found yourself interested in any of these ways of participating in the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth, please fill out this form. This is a QR code. So please fill out this form to show your interest, and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.
Thank you for your time and consideration.
All right. Yes. So thank you all for your time. This has been an incredible platform, and I hope that I'll be hearing from all of you again.
Thank you so much for all the information, and we will plan on ways to connect the San Jose Youth Commission to provide feedback. Actually, I did have a question that I really wanted to ask really quickly. Is there like a relative timeline for this?
Yes, that's a great question. So we hope to have the final draft of the Bill of Rights done by the end of December, and we'll be circling back with people and getting signatures in January and creating an action plan that'll carry through midway 2023.
Yes, thank you so much for the information.
You're welcome.
And just as a note, if there are any questions we have later, we can also follow up at the email provided in the slide.
Absolutely, thank you.
Next, moving on to item D, we have the Region 4 Student Advocacy Conference. Are there presenters here and ready for this?
Hi, I am.
Okay, thank you so much. Yeah.
All right. Can I just share my screen?
Yes, of course.
All right, thank you. All right, there we go. Can we all see my screen? All right, sounds good. So first to introduce myself. Hi, everyone. My name is Arnav Verma. I'm a senior at Monte Vista High School in Danville, so, East Bay. And I'll let Shreya introduce herself as well.
Hi, my name is Shreya. I'm a sophomore at Cupertino High School in Cupertino. Yeah, Arnav, go ahead.
Yeah, sure. And we're so excited to talk to you today about the student advocacy conference we have coming up. We think this is something that we'd love to work with the commission on, and we'd love to have some representation there. So first, I wanted to give a little bit of background as to what CASC is. CASC is California Association of Student Councils, but we call it CASC because it's a mouthful to say the whole acronym, but it's a nonprofit organization founded by AXA, the Association actually, I forget what AXA stands for, but it was founded by the California Department of Education and what used to be a subset of the State Board of Education. And it's a nonprofit founded in 1947, so way back in the Stone Age. And so it's a student-run and student-led nonprofit that really focuses on helping students of today become the leaders of tomorrow. And they do it through an emphasis on ethical leadership. And so we have legislative conferences throughout California. What I believe is our biggest niche point is that over the past 10 years, CASC has helped pass 7 pieces of student-written legislation and many more local proposals through legislative conferences such as the SAC, which is what I'm here to talk to you today about. So CASC has an excellent pipeline to the California legislature where we are able to submit and co-sponsor bills. I'd love to give you a couple examples just to illustrate that. One would be AB 748, which is a menstrual equity for all bill, which essentially mandates that all schools in California, grades 6 through 12, have to have menstrual products for their students in all female bathrooms, all gender neutral bathrooms, and 1 male bathroom throughout all of the 6 through 12 community colleges and CSUs. It's also encouraged at UCs. So that's like an example of a bill that was pitched at a CASC conference, and then we worked to make that bill become actual legislation. Another example would be AB 46, that is the Youth Empowerment Commission. And so CASC pitched this idea again. This was a student-written proposal, and the Legislative Affairs Director at CASC worked to create, to turn that into a actual legislation. And this is the Youth Empowerment Commission, AB 46, which was passed, I believe, I believe it was last year that it was passed. And so what it does is it creates a Youth Empowerment Commission to help underrepresented minorities, such as homeless youth and youth who have, I think, are essentially underrepresented, homeless, disabled, and of other like marginalized populations. And so it helps them reach representation on the state board, on the state level. So they have a direct input into the education process. Those are just 2 of the recent examples. We had 2 bills passed on September 19th. And so those are some things that I'm really excited about, but I'd love to talk to you more about the SAC itself. Oh, that's backwards. And I think I will let Shreya talk about the SAC itself and what it offers to you guys.
Yes, of course. So what exactly is a student advocacy conference? So the SAC is basically an annual regional conference held in all 12 of the CASC regions that offers students in whatever region they are to impact their education by working with like-minded individuals from across 5 state counties to find solutions. So how does our conference work? During our one-day conference, delegates will be put into groups with similar interests such as mental health, school safety, post-high school preparedness, etc. And these groups work together to find the root problem of that topic and create a solution. This solution will then be presented to a diverse panel of education officials and legislators, including your local school board members. And after the conference, Region 4, or our cabinet, will work with the delegates to implement yours. Arnav, if you'd like to add anything.
Yeah, sure. Sorry, I think my computer might have lagged, so I heard you a little bit late. But yeah, just to give you an illustration of how this conference worked, Region 5, which is the Stockton and I think Modesto area, where students, there were like about 30 plus students, and they all came together and they devised a number of legislative proposals that they pitched to, like Shreya said, a diverse group of panelists. And today I went down to the Capitol and along with the region president from that region, and we pitched it to Senator Eggman as to like how we can implement one of their proposals. It was a very interesting proposal, actually. It was about the counselor to student ratio, because right now it's astronomical. And so we were proposing legislation to bring that ratio down. And so when students present ideas that receive positive feedback, we follow up on those ideas and try to turn those into actionable change within the education system. So I know that the Youth Commission is like all about creating change in their community. I've been hearing for the past hour about all these Youth Bill of Rights, which I think is, by the way, fantastic. And so I was just pleased to share with you that like similar proposals that you believe could make an impact in your education system, you can definitely make at this conference, and we will, if it receives positive feedback, work to turn that into actual law across the state. And so this is just a little blurb as to why students should register for the SAC conference. But to reiterate the points that we previously went over, especially if you are interested in public policy, or really if you're a stakeholder in your education system and you want to see it bettered, this is an excellent opportunity to make change on a local level and really imagine the problems that you see in your education system, tell them to people who have the power to make a difference, and really have yourself heard and design solutions to pave the way for a better future. If you are interested, there are also community service hours for attending that are available. All right, so let's go next slide. Okay, so this is our registration link. I'll let Shreya talk about the rest of the slide.
Yes, so our Region 4 SAC will be at the Santa Clara Office of Education on October 22nd from 9 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. This conference is open to all grades from 7th grade to 12th grade, attending school in the Santa Clara, San Mateo, San Francisco, Alameda, and Contra Costa counties. And to register, we have a QR code on the slide, and you can also access the link if you go onto the CASC website under Region 4.
Okay. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have. Does anyone have any questions?
Commissioner Liu.
Thank you, Vice Chair. Are we able to have a copy of the final proposals that you guys make at the conference?
So are you saying that, if you're a delegate, would you be able to receive your proposal, or sorry?
No, the proposal as a whole to send out to outside or governments.
Yeah. We would be able to send you that information, and we'd be happy to work. If you wanted to institute change on like in San Jose, then actually we would be able to do that as well. It's really just wherever we get the interest from, because we need an author for a lot of these proposals. And so if we can find an author, we will absolutely like make it happen wherever it needs to happen. And, you know, if you are a delegate, you're absolutely entitled to take your proposals.
Perfect. Thank you.
And then Commissioner Khan.
Hi, so I just had a quick question regarding the organization itself. I think it's really, really cool that you guys have an association just for student councils. Would an ASB also count as a student council, or are you guys more leaning towards like school site councils?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I think the name itself is a little misleading, but to address your question directly, yes, absolutely. ASBs are a governing body of students, and they're absolutely considered a student council under our definitions anyways. That being said, the students who are allowed to be delegates is not just limited to students who are inside councils or youth advisory councils. It's really anyone who wants to make a change in their education system. So while CASC really does aim to support ASBs and site councils and student councils, its breadth is not just limited to that. I would say that if you have friends who aren't really part of a governing organization and they're interested in something like this, then like it's absolutely okay to like tell them about it, because like it's really, we want to give a voice to whoever is passionate about issues in their education system.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, because especially at my school, we have 3 different levels of governing. We have ASB, we have school site council, and then we have student governing board. Student governing board is district, ASB is school. Oh no, ASB is anything like activities related, like student body, and then school site council is school related. So I would really like to put independence on this association. That's my school, because I think that they're a low income school. I think that there's a lot of things that they can contribute. So I'll definitely consider like registering stuff like that. I will check in with my activities director and figure out what governing body should apply for the association, but I think that's really cool. Thank you so much.
Oh, sorry, I'd love to clarify a point. First, what school do you go to?
Independence High School.
Independence High School. Cool name. So it's not a organization or not a school or an organization that needs to apply to be a member. It's you as an individual, apart from your school, you can register. So I came here to the Youth Commission to talk to all of you because I thought, and I heard from Andrew, that you are all like very driven individuals who want to make a change in your education system. And so I decided that this would be a great place to reach a lot of people that have the same ideas or similar mindsets at least. And so that's why I approached you all here. You don't need to be part of a organization to apply. And so if you want to register on behalf of your school, I don't know how that would work. The conference delegation registration is individual.
Oh, okay. I got it. I think I understand now. Yeah, because I'm thinking that like this is like a coalition of like student governing bodies. So yeah, okay, I get it. It's more of an individual thing now. Thank you so much for that.
Yeah, no worries. So yeah, I agree. The name itself is a little misleading. But we do serve like student councils still, but like the majority of our delegates for conferences are individual students. So people like you and I.
Oh, what was that last part?
So like people like you and I who are like individuals separate from our organizations, we can apply to be a delegate for these conferences. It's not necessary that you have to be part of something.
Okay, I got that. Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. Does anyone have any other questions? All right. If no one has any other questions, you are more than welcome to reach me at my email, arnavverma@casc.net. Andrew, who I'm sure you guys all know, okay, why do you turn off his camera? Andrew is our vice president, and he also is an excellent point of contact. You guys already have his contact information, but you can also email him at his Cask account. And you can also email Shreya at shreya.shetty@cask.net. Thank you so much for the opportunity to present to you all, and I really want to see you all at the conference.
Thank you.
Yeah, just as they mentioned, if we have any further questions, you can reach out after the meeting. And we really hope to connect with you more in the future. And we also really appreciate the information that you shared this evening. It'll be very useful for our commissioners and also their youth advisory council. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much. If you are interested in the conference, please reach out and I can do a similar presentation to your youth advisory councils, or I can send you a packet of information that you can send to them directly. Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Next, I believe we have item D, which is the District 3 Gender Neutral Bathrooms Memorandum. Commissioner Huang, would you like to speak on this a little bit?
Yeah, I can't share my screen because my computer is pretty slow, but this policy was written by last year's District 3 Commissioner, their YAC, and general youth. Gender neutral bathrooms are bathrooms that are accessible and open to people of any gender. This is a policy proposal to implement them in public facilities like community centers and libraries. This is important because it would promote gender equity and would be used to accommodate gender non-conforming people. These bathrooms can be used by anyone regardless of gender. And this would benefit transgender populations as well as people outside the gender binary. So that's like the main overview of what this policy's goal is.
Okay, thank you. At the moment, are there any questions about the memorandum from any of the commissioners? Yes, Commissioner Liu.
I've had the opportunity to look at the proposal, and I think that it's a great proposal that shows why and how neutral restrooms are a safe place for both LGBTQ minorities and of others in that community. So I'd like to commend Commissioner Huang for putting forth this proposal.
Yeah, I agree. It is a very well written proposal, and I really do agree that it's truly a good idea. Yeah. And then, are there any motions on the floor to, on the gender neutral bathrooms memorandum from District 3?
I, Commissioner Liu, move to propose the approval of District 3's policy proposal.
Are there any seconds?
Commissioner Lee, second that motion.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Any abstentions? Then the motion passes. And then after this, moving on to item 4 on the item 6 on the agenda, which is reports and information. First, item A is the city manager's office report.
Yes, hello, Laura Buzo here, assistant to the city manager in the city manager's office. And I just wanted to give you a really quick kind of update and reminder on our work with the development of the Children Youth Services Master Plan. Just wanted to, if it's okay, I wanted to just share a couple of quick slides.
So basically, just wanted to remind you that as part of our planning process, we have developed an organizational kind of team structure. As I mentioned, when we presented to you last month, we are engaging community members at all levels through our committees and our advisories. We have completed our community advisory recruitment. That's comprised of different representatives from everything from community colleges to San Jose State to UC Santa Cruz, community-based organizations serving foster youth, Asian Americans, Latino, as well as education leaders from the districts and other service providers. We also have a parent and caregiver advisory, as well as our work with you, the commission, and another youth advisory to engage young people who may not be connected to schools or other programs or services in the community. And then just kind of wanted to remind you about our timeline. So we are currently in the process of meeting with our different representatives to begin developing our focus group questions, our interview questions, and our survey questions, as well as looking at local, state, and national data to see what does the data tell us about the experiences of young people when it comes to health, educational achievement, their kind of socioeconomic experience, those types of things. And then just wanted to kind of give you an update that we are looking at having our community engagement and listening sessions from mid-October to mid-November. And so I'm hoping that during that time, we can look at scheduling some of the Youth Commission partnership activities that we talked about. We had mentioned hosting 2 youth town halls. One would be in person and one would be virtual. So I think if we schedule those sometime between the end of October and early November, that would be great. And then, as we mentioned earlier, we will have a citywide survey, and this will go out to all youth, families, and providers in the community. And then we're hoping that by the end of this calendar year, we'll have a summary of those findings. So after we had all these conversations with folks and the surveys, that we'll have a summary of what we heard in the community. And then we want to bring those back to you to see, is there anything that we missed? Is there something that we should be thinking about as we continue to develop the Children and Youth Services Master Plan? And then we also want to share with you and get input on the kind of the priority areas and the recommendations that we want to present to City Council. And then just real briefly, we know that we have a new mayor and some council members onboarding in January. And so we're kind of giving ourselves a couple of months to share with them a draft of the master plan, just kind of walk them through the process, but also give them an opportunity to provide input or any other recommendations or ideas that they may have. And then just quickly, we have some community brainstorming sessions this week with our community advisory members. We also have a meeting with our community, our full body of community advisory members in October. And then in November, we have some additional meetings with our community advisory members. And I know that we do have a meeting scheduled with all of you, I believe, the first week of October, to also begin having some more kind of involved conversation on the youth town hall and some of the other things that we want to be able to incorporate as part of the planning process. And that's the update. Are there any questions? And I'm sorry, I failed to introduce Kevin. Kevin Wynn is here from our office as well.
Hello, everyone. I'm Kevin. I'm an analyst supporting Laura with the master plan.
Thank you. And so just as we end, just want to reiterate that our commitment is that we're coming to you every month during your meetings to provide you an update. But you're also welcome to send us an email anytime if you have any questions, or if you want to make sure that we're engaging other sectors of the community throughout this process.
Yes, thank you so much for the report. We will be sure to reach out and contact after the meeting.
Thank you.
Moving on to B, which is the council liaison report.
Hi, good evening. This is Mariela Garcia with Councilwoman Arenas' office. I wanted to wish everyone a happy National Literacy Month and Hispanic Heritage Month. And on behalf of Councilmember Arenas, I just wanted to extend her deep gratitude for your attention to the Bill of Rights for Children and Youth audits, which was item A tonight. So as you heard from the city auditor, the item has been cross-referenced to council, and it's going to be heard at the council meeting on Tuesday, October 4th. And so should the Youth Commission be aware of a need to make that item time certain to facilitate public comment, which really just means that the council will hear the item at a specific time of the day rather than in the order that it's agendized. Please do let us know, as that's something that Councilmember Arenas can advocate for. Otherwise, the audit will be heard by council as item 3.4 on the Tuesday, October 4th council meeting. So that council meeting starts at 1:30 p.m. And of course, your public comment can also be shared, submitted actually via email. And should you have any other, questions or comments regarding the item, please do reach out before Tuesday. And that's all for me. Thank you.
Commissioner Liu.
I'd like to ask our council legion about our update on our District 8 Youth Commissioner. Could you please provide us an update with that?
Yes, of course. I do apologize. I know that having a vacancy on the Youth Commission, can create an issue with quorum. We are working really closely with, school administrators, teachers, with nonprofits that work and serve youth and other key stakeholders to really finalize that pool of applicants. We expect that to be in review by early next week. And I did want to assure you that filling the seat with the right candidate is a priority for us. And we thank, Chair Chen and the entire Youth Commission and their support, because I know they've also been getting the word out. So really do appreciate that. We'll have the seat filled as soon as possible.
Thank you.
Of course.
Yes, thank you so much for the update. I also look forward to meeting the District 8 Commissioners soon. Then moving on to C, which is the San Jose Library Report.
Good evening, everybody. My name is Michelle Ornault. I'm the Deputy Director of Public Services, providing you our library's update tonight. We've got quite a few updates to provide, and the first that we're really excited about is that Sundays are getting sweeter at our library. For the first time in San Jose Public Library's history, more than half of our branches will open on Sundays, starting this Sunday, October 2nd. And this will happen at 16 of our 25 locations. Expanding hours means that the public will have more frequent access to physical materials, technology, and in-person support all 7 days of the week and across every council district in San Jose. So this historic move comes after City Council approved the fiscal year 2022-2023 operating budget on June 21st of this year. And that included the library's expansion of hours. And it's in a direct response to the community's request for Sunday hours at the library. Now, the Sunday hours will be piloted from noon to 5 p.m. at 16 locations. I'm going to read them off, but they are also available on our website. So those locations in alphabetical order are Alviso, Alum Rock, Bascom, Berryessa, Biblioteca Latinoamericana, Cambrian, East San Jose Carnegie, Edenvale, Educational Park, Evergreen, Hillview, Joyce Ellington, Seven Trees, Tully Community, Vineland, and West Valley. These branches were selected using the library's equity index assessing the geographic location, council district, and also reviewing circulation and usage data. To celebrate our historic milestone in SJPL's history, the library invites the public to stop by any one of our 16 library branches to enjoy an ice cream sundae provided by Mr. Softy. And that will happen on Sunday, courtesy of the San Jose Public Library Foundation. For more information on all the happenings going around on Sundays, please visit sjpl.org/Sunday. This month also, Library is celebrating National Hispanic Heritage Month. Library recognizes the contributions, culture, and heritage of Hispanic and Latin Americans across the U.S. This national celebration began on September 15th and ends October 15th. To celebrate, SJPL is hosting a variety of programs for the public to participate and learn more about the history and influence that Hispanic and Latin culture has had in the United States. For a complete list of events, please visit our website. Also, at this time of year, it's National Library Card Sign-Up Month. And for the last 35 years, the American Library Association and libraries across the nation have joined forces to promote and increase the number of library card signups during the month of September. Here at SJPL, we celebrate and thank our 735,000 members and our committed staff who provide San Joseans with equitable access to critical services all year round. A library card means having exclusive access to a massive collection of books, both physical and digital, tech devices, learning resources, movies, and other educational materials. It also means being part of a library system that genuinely cares about community. Before September comes to an end, we invite you to celebrate with SJPL by signing up for your free library membership and or encouraging your friends and family to sign up for a card if they don't have one already. For details and a list of our membership perks, please visit our website, which is sjpl.org/membership. Starting on Wednesday, October 4th, representatives from the YWCA Golden Gate Silicon Valley's Teen Empowerment Program will host virtual and in-person discussions to help dispel myths about sexual and domestic violence, promote healthy relationships, and examine gender roles and how they relate to violence. This series is free and recommended for teens ages 12 to 18, and I will drop the link in the chat. And lastly, we have an upcoming holiday closure. All branches will be closed for Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday, October 10th. Library will resume normal operating hours the next day on Tuesday, the 11th. However, on Monday, the 10th, the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library will remain open, and the library's online collection, our e-library card registration, e-learning resources, and all of our streaming services always are available at sjpl.org. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the library report. Next up is the commission chair report, which I will give as Chair Chen is not here today. These are mostly for the youth commissioners. First off, please make sure to check your emails and continue following up about your one-on-one meetings with Ms. Malloy. Along with that, please make sure to send your YAC meeting dates and times to Ms. Malloy so she can attend your meetings. Please make sure to vote on the date to have our mini retreat in winter. And additionally, next Monday, we will be having a training at 6 p.m. with Ms. Puzo to mainly set up also a time and date for our town hall. Yes, I think that is it for the commission chair report. Next, moving on to the last reports, which are the commissioners' reports per city district. District 1, Commissioner Chen is not here today. Is District 2, Commissioner Liu here to give a report?
Yes. For my update, I've been working on my YAC. I had my one-on-one earlier this month, and I plan to have my first YAC meeting the first or second week of October. I've just been working on my agenda and coming up with some policies and issues that I'd like to address. One example would be off the Monterey ramp. There's a lot of homeless people there, so maybe coming up with a policy to address that issue and come up with some resources that may help them.
Thank you so much for the report, Commissioner Liu. Next, District 3, Commissioner Huang.
For my recent update, we passed our work plan in our YAC meeting and finalized the project proposals that were on the agenda. We are planning to work on a policy proposal for the month of October, and that is it.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Huang. Next, District 4, Commissioner Khan.
Hi everyone. So far, I have started my YAC. I established an application where I had about 30 people apply, which I was, like completely shocked of. I had to cut out to around 10 people, so I ended up interviewing 20 people, and then I ended up with 15 students, anywhere between grades 9 all the way to grade 12. And the reason why I decided to basically have a smaller YAC as opposed to accepting everyone who applied was because I wanted to raise the standard of District 4 YAC. I wanted them to think that it's not just an extracurricular or an activity or something you can put on a college application, but rather an internship. So I ended up choosing the students who I thought had the most ideas and who were the most passionate about this position and opportunity. Our first meeting was held just a couple weeks ago, and our next meeting is going to be at Educational Park Library on October 11th. We established 3 committees: homelessness, poverty, and social equity, and we're going to be working on AIM as a whole as opposed to just a separate committee. We started brainstorming ideas such as food drives, policy proposals, and collaborations with other organizations. We plan to have future guests, such as previous D4YAC members, to explain policy proposals, and including Council Member David Cohen or the new council member eventually. For the future, one collective goal I have is to work closely with the new council member or David Cohen and to really give the youth's perspectives on matters handled in our district.
Thank you so much for the report, Commissioner Khan. Next, District 5, Commissioner Liu.
Hi all. District 5 has successfully drafted our first work plan. We're revising it at our next YAC meeting to ensure that District 5's voice is being heard in our work plan. We also hosted a successful youth conference where YAC members came and learned about leadership skills, teamwork skills, in addition with learning from our elected and government representatives. We also have a completed YAC member with all leadership posts filled, which are Vice Commissioner, our Communications Director, and our election of our Secretary. We also are transitioning our focus from recruiting to outreaching and civil engagement through events and partnering with community-based organizations and other organizations to promote civil youth engagement in both our government and their community. District 5's Youth Commissioner, I also am planning to meet with Councilmember Carrasco later this week to learn more about the issues that she and her office sees in our youth. And that is all for now. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Commissioner Liu. Next, District 6, Commissioner Bansal.
Okay, so I'm just working on building my YAC, and I'm gonna email my councilwoman to see if she can include an announcement in her daily newsletter or her weekly newsletter. I'm not sure what it is. And then I'm also I'm just working on gaining more interest from students and just youth in my district, and specifically the high school, because I don't actually attend it, but I I'm trying to reach out and communicate with them to see how we can get more students interested. But for now, I'm just slowly building my YAC, and then I'm hoping that I can have a meeting either this month, which might be a little bit of a reach because I was thinking super soon, or next month for sure.
Thank you so much for the report, Commissioner Bansal. Next is District 7, which is me. We had our first meeting for the Youth Advisory Council last in August, and via this meeting, we identified a few issues that we would like to focus on for this year. The primary ones are YAC identifying being homelessness as well as overall health. We're currently planning on working with a variety of public health departments and organizations to see if we can bring more awareness about the area to the youth in our district. And also we gained a few Youth Advisory Council members and are hoping to continue our outreach. Next is, District 8 is vacant. District 9, Commissioner Singh. Sorry, if my audio is a bit quiet. Is District 9 Commissioner Singh here? It does not look like Commissioner Singh is present at the moment. So District 10, Commissioner Lee.
Oh, there. All right, here we go. So District 10 has been working on our meetings right now. So far, we have had 2 meetings with our District 10. We call it the D10YLC, the District 10 Youth Leadership Coalition. But we've met with them twice. We had one sort of informational introduction meeting, and then one meeting where we really started to get into roles of the D10YLC and expectations for what to do this year. We split everybody up, so we have different teams now, and we're getting people to apply for different positions within the ACT, within the D10YLC. So I have everybody split now into 3 different committees of outreach, service, and consulting. So we're going to be working on that next week this coming Thursday during our next meeting. So that is going to be also when we are going to be working on our very first, I'd call it an event, where it is basically our outreach week. So we're going to be doing one focused week of just outreach and recruiting members and seeing if we can find some enthusiastic people to help join us. And so I think that's pretty much it on our end. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Thank you for the report, Commissioner Lee. And finally, Citywide Commissioner Jennifer Lee.
Yeah, thank you. So basically, the main thing that Megan and I have started working on is we're planning to write bios about all the commissioners, all the way from District 1 to 10, including me. And these bios are going to be about the work that each commissioner is doing, major projects they've led, and then also their youth commission experience. So in the coming days, I will be sending all a few forms that you'll have to fill out. And this will just have around 10 questions that will ask for your experience in the commission. And if it's your first year, it's maybe what you've worked on so far and what you plan to work on in your vision in the future. And I will request that you fill it out. And what we're going to do with that is then the seniors, who I think Gordon, Alexander, Nuha, you will have your bios posted up first on our site as a priority. And then we'll, by the end of February, we'll make sure that all commissioners have biographies up on our Youth Herald blog. So that's my overview. And yeah, if I'll be sending you an email soon. And if there are any questions, please let me know. Thank you.
Thank you so much for the report.
Commissioner Sriram.
Oh, yeah.
So I just heard from Commissioner Singh. He's having trouble with his audio, so he sent me his report, which I can give very quickly if you'd like.
Yes, that would be great.
All right. So on behalf of our District 9 Commissioner Singh, this month has been a little slow. He's gathered some returning YAC members, and they're currently voting on first drafts of their annual flyers. They're also working on outreach to expand their YAC.
Thank you so much for the report, Ms. Malloy and Commissioner Singh. And then moving on to items for future commission meeting agendas. At the moment, are there any commissioners who would like to add an item to the next month's agenda? Okay, it doesn't look like there is anything at the moment. If you do have anything to add, please make sure to send them to either Chair Chen or myself by October 10th. And then next, adjournment. So are there currently any motions on the floor to adjourn the meeting?
I, Commissioner Lee, make a motion to adjourn this meeting at 8:04 p.m.
Are there any seconds?
Commissioner Liu, second Commissioner Lee's motion to adjourn.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Then the motion to end the meeting at 8:04 p.m. passes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.